Hello, I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, 2049 Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 midnight Eastern Time, and 3 p.m. on Saturday in Queensland, Australia. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California. We're back! NASA News Conference on Intuitive Machines' first lunar landing. Intuitive Machines' IM-1 mission made history on February 22nd with the first successful moon landing by a company. This televised news conference will discuss details of Odysseus landing as part of NASA's CLIPS Commercial Lunar Payload Services Initiative and Artemis campaign. I want to refer you to this video. Yep, it's right here.
Okay. Yep. Hi, Cliff.
Hi, Cliff. Welcome. And thanks to Don Dowdy for sending this link to us earlier today. This is well worth watching. It's fascinating. They take questions by phone, and
yeah,
we've seen a bunch of that. Yeah, got another one?
And here, no, just here's the link.
Oh, yep.
It's in the comments, but there it is. If you, for some reason, didn't get the comments.
Yeah, it should be a clickable link in the comments.
Yeah, you could try clicking the video, but it won't do anything.
Hey, Scott, he's here.
Yep, hi, Scott.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. All right, so congratulations. We are on the moon again. Over to you.
Yep. Tonight's profile is Valerie L. Thomas. We'll be back in 8.3 seconds. Hi, Janie.
Yes, very exciting news. And we got to see a launch out of Vandenberg last night, right from home. That was really cool.
Oh, hey, Don. Yep. We're back on the moon.
We are back on the moon. Woo!
Kind of at an angle. Kind of tipped over, but we're back.
It's only taken 52 years. Anyway, you got more.
Valerie Laverne Thomas invented the illusion transmitter, which is still used by NASA, surgeons, and for creating 3D movies and television. Pam, tell us about Valerie Thomas.
All right, let me set this up and then go ahead and share. All right, so last week I showed you this inspiring picture. That's what got this all started. And I have really enjoyed digging up information about Ms. Thomas. She is actually still around. See, born February 8th, 1943. She's 81. Yeah, so cool. And this is a really short Wikipedia, which I'm really sad about. It seems like she's had a long and illustrious career with all the awards and everything, but they don't have a really big page for her. So what I can tell you is she was a data scientist and inventor. She invented this illusion transmitter. I do have a page about that as well. She received a patent on it in 1980, and basically they're still using this apparently in, well, the Landsat program and all kinds of places. I saw another comment there.
Yep. Cliff says, I figured the lander tipped over. Yeah,
they were saying that.
Yeah, they were saying that that it was coming down, but it was coming down and moving horizontally too, and that it hit a rock.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, that's their best guess right now, but they're working on getting more instruments.
Boy, I opened Pandora's box, didn't I? I wanted to do a show about Valerie L. Thomas, but do we want to talk about the moon some more still? I can wait.
No, it'll come. It'll come.
All right. Okay. So she's from Baltimore, Maryland. She graduated in 1961 in high school. And I think they were seeing some integration. But of course, there were police that had to stand outside the schools and protect the children who were being integrated. Anyway, I'm glad we're past that phase of our development. The moon rocks. Yes. She excelled in math, but she wasn't really encouraged. Even though her father was very interested in things like electronics, he didn't really encourage her very much. So she's kind of done a lot of this on her own. So really neat picture. It says she's next to a stack of early Landsat computer compatible tapes. Now I didn't find anything about her, like is she single, is she married, nothing like that. Any kids? A lot of times in the wiki down in here they'll talk about that, but I didn't really see any of that. So she worked for NASA as a data analyst in 1964, and she basically was there until I think 1980 something. But anyway, she was, got more and more responsibility, more and more high level positions, and just really spent a long time there doing some really, really interesting things. I just adore this particular episode because this really, really neat person. She oversaw the creation of the Landsat program. Her participation in this program expanded upon the works of other NASA scientists in the pursuit of being able to visualize Earth from space. See here, she had a team of about 50 people for this large area crop inventory experiment, also known as LACY. It's a joint effort between Johnson Space Center and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Very, very important and cool program. So she actually saw this illusion of a light bulb that appeared to be kind of just floating and lit, even though it wasn't plugged in, it wasn't in a socket. So she really delved into this and figured out what it was about and patented this. So I'm not sure if this was already done, if she did something different. I haven't really read anything about that, but she does hold the patent on it since 1980. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah, because usually if you're working for NASA, you can't actually patent anything because NASA gets the patents, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know about patents in particular, but there are a lot of things that nobody's name gets put on them because it belongs to NASA and it's in the public domain. So it's not really like it's copyrighted by anybody. Yeah, I don't know about patents though. Patents might have a particular status for people. Anyway, but this is something that they're still using. NASA currently used and has been adapted. This device is NASA currently used and has been adapted for screens on various devices, ranging from surgery tools to televisions. And she, like I said, she rose in the ranks. She became associate chief of the Space Science Data Operations Office. That's pretty important. In 95 as the NSSDC, which I believe that is, right? Nope, that's a different thing. What does it say it is? Yeah, space data. Okay, NASA Space Science Data Coordinator. She was the computer facility manager. She was responsible for major consolidation and reconfiguration of two previously independent computer facilities. And then she was over at the Space Physics Analysis Network SPAN. So amazing career. She's done so many really cool things.
And merging two different computer facilities.
Is that a big deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you have two different groups of not developed tiers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So
okay.
So that was a job.
I didn't realize that. Okay. But yeah, I would encourage you to read all this. I do have quite a few tabs, so I'm not going to go through a whole lot of this, but I do want to point out that she was very, very knowledgeable, very good at math, and she got all kinds of different awards. Let's see, they have, here it is, numerous awards, even though they don't spell them out, including the Goddard Space Flight Center Award of Merit and the NASA Equal Opportunity Medal. Some nice references. Check it out. All right. So, and this is a little bit more recent picture of her. And I kind of found this really cool website, findingada.com. And there's something called Ada Lovelace Day. So I'll just mention that in passing. I got a page over here too. But here again, we talk about Dr. Thomas. She has a PhD that she earned as well as one that she was awarded. So, yeah, she's best known for this illusion transmitter. It's still used. Like we said, let's see, what else can we find in here? They talk about her upbringing, and which is a lot of the same kinds of things. Yeah, it was, while technology was an interest of hers as a child, she received little encouragement. There it is, to pursue this or other science fields. This changed when she went to Morgan Stanley University. So that's cool.
Morgan State.
Morgan State, sorry. So she goes to college and she finally gets some encouragement. I think that's right. So college can be useful for that. All right. So let's see. It talks about her degrees, and she actually keeps going back to school and getting more degrees, and really just keeps on learning, keeps growing, keeps learning. In fact, she's still doing cool stuff today. All right, let's see if I can find that. Yep, they go about the computer's facility manager. All right, here it is. Outside of her scientific work, Valerie is an enthusiastic supporter of young people, especially girls, interested in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. She was a mentor for the National Technical Association, Goddard Space Flight Center, and Science, Mathematics, Aerospace Research, and Technology, otherwise known as SMART. That's cool. And she retired. Oh, she retired in 95. I thought it was in the 80s. She continues her mentorship activities and inspires the next generation. So they give a lot of nice references here too. All right, so here's that Ada Lovelace Day, and I did not know anything about that before I did this research. So maybe one day we will delve into that a little bit. Just like I said, to mention in passing. There's a good picture of her more recently. And there's a story on this shemadehistory.com page. It's kind of an interesting picture of her. It's a little different than some of the other ones. It doesn't quite look like her, but I think it's the big, huge glasses, and they're kind of dark. So anyway, I love how these are fairly recent. See, this is February of 2020. It's really nice that there's kind of more current information, but it is a little bit sparse still, unfortunately. So they go into some of the facts that we've kind of already seen. And is there anything in here? Let's see if there's anything in particular I wanted you to know about. Just another good picture. Yeah. And some more references. That's always good. So I really like this because it has this parts of this drawing, which is from, do I have it up here somewhere? I think it's over here. But we'll get to that. So they do have a page on NASA's website. They call it A Face Behind Landsat Images. Meet Dr. Valerie L. Thomas, and also fairly recently, 2019. So yeah, very cool stuff. She okay, so in Landsat's long history, many talented people brought together to make the vision of Earth observation from space a reality. We actually got to see the Landsat 8 launch straight out of Vandenberg. We were within miles, and it was a beautiful, perfect day, and the launch was just spectacular.
And yeah,
you remember that, right?
It's actually what
2013, I believe it was.
Yeah, I recorded it.
Yep.
And it's actually the video, one of our first videos, and it's the one with the most viewers by far.
Yep. So I don't know if I've heard anything about Landsat lately. Like, is there a 9 or a 10? Because it has been a while, 2013. You know, the Landsat images, though, are in the public domain. So if you need to use something for whatever, you have an option with using the Landsat images. All right. So, they talk about one of the people was Dr. Valerie L. Thomas. She was an integral part of the early Landsat digital image processing team. How cool is that? So, you know, it's a good foundation. Smart person, well educated, and she continues. I love how she continues to, you know, grow and learn and just evolves. It's wonderful stuff.
Oh, yeah. Scroll down a little bit so that we can see the tapes that she's.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay, if you remember the old 70s pictures of computers with these 2 tape cassettes,
yes,
that's that.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so she was one of the image processing specialists. And like they said before, Lacey, she was working on Lacey. What else? Do they have anything new in here for you? Oh, this is nice interview. What was the path that led you to the Landsat program? And she says she majored in physics with almost a double major in math as well. She started at NASA, had not seen a computer except in science fiction movies. Can you imagine? That was a while ago. So her job involved writing computer programs. she decided to learn as much as possible about computers. And we actually saw an example of that too in that Hidden Figures.
Mm-hmm.
That woman really, really delved into the IBM computer that they got, right?
Right.
So yeah, some of these people were very enthusiastic and took advantage of the possibilities and learned all they could about computers.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that smart? All right, so let's see. Yep, right. During that time, people who worked on computers needed strong math backgrounds, including abstract algebra, the ability to do math operations in several different number systems, binary, that's twos, in other words, you have a 0 and a 1. Octal, that's 8, right?
Yes.
So that's 0 through 7.
Yep.
Decimal, that's what we usually use, is 0 through 9. That's, we got 10 fingers. And hexadecimal, the 16.
0 through F.
Right. They go 0 to 9, and then they go A, B, C, D, E, F.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 16 characters in that particular number system.
Yeah.
And lots of it comes into play with all kinds of programming. The computer uses the ones and zeros, the binary.
Mm-hmm.
You were going to say?
Octal came into play just because they managed to get more data channels than just one, which is binary. So they were able to do 8 bits, which is actually why a lot of characters, like you do the ASCII codes, those are 8-bit codes. Those are all from that time. Then when computers got a little bit more robust, then you had hexadecimal, because they could handle 16 channels, data paths.
Okay. That's why we needed 16 then.
Yeah, and now they're 64-bit, but no one actually does math in 64-bit just because it ends up being way too long.
Yeah, so. I don't even know how we do that because we ran out of letters at 26.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I do like this part too because they reference the work she did at Orbiting Geophysical Observatory, OGO, before communication satellites that provided access to scientific satellites in space. She had to decommutate the scientific data. Does that mean process it like by hand?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
Whatever process she used, it means that turning the raw data of ones and zeros, because they didn't have imaging software. They didn't,
Got it. Yeah, what you see is very, very highly processed. All of the beautiful images from the space satellites and the different telescopes and everything.
Yeah.
And they didn't always have the computers to do it.
Well, I'm assuming they had specialty devices to do some of this stuff, but she would have had to either create or program those specialty devices just to do it. And it'd probably
that makes sense.
Probably be, since they were so limited in processing, probably be single task devices.
Okay.
So you'd have a task for doing this, or a device for doing this, a device for doing that.
Cool. All right. We could do a whole show on that.
All right. I'd have to do a lot of research on that because I know a little bit about it.
Well, I just mean like all the computer stuff, like you have hands-on experiences in a lot of that stuff too.
Right. But everything that I know is like at least a decade after this.
Okay.
I mean, I was working on a computer during this time period, but I was working on a terminal that was attached to Cal State Fullerton's mainframe.
Got it.
And I programmed blackjack in it at 8 years old.
Nice. So the interview goes on. When did you first start working on the Landsat program? In 1970, and it was being developed at that time. She had to become familiar with the format of the digital tapes, and it sounds like it's those tapes you were referring to above that had the.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and where something was on the tape was almost as important as what was on the tape.
Oh, no kidding.
No, because in order to get from one side to the other, it had to go all the way through. So you wanted, and what she's talking about, for formats is you wanted things grouped together because otherwise it took way too long to process.
Okay.
Or you spread it out over multiple tapes.
So it's the way I think about it is watching a video online to try and find something, or looking at a book where you can actually flip to, or even bookmark a page. It's very hard to do that in a video, I think.
Right, yeah. And similar thing to VHS cassette versus DVD.
Mm,
You know, you don't have to rewind a DVD.
no.
You know, and you can go jump to any part of it at any time.
Yeah.
Whereas with a videotape, you have to fast forward, and that's what they would have to do. So by using multiple tapes, they put a bit here on this tape, a bit on this tape, a bit on this tape.
Oh, and you do see banks of those
Mm-hmm.
huge machines in some of the different, well,
Yeah.
pictures, which are actual historical, and movies, which
Historical,
may embellish a little bit.
historical documents, as they refer to my Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of those are individual computers, but a lot of them were banks of the same computer.
Wow. So anyway, it goes on, and she this is a very nice interview. I thought it was really good. And really, I just did a research. Well, let's give you this link too, because what I did, of course, was look for her by name. All right, so where are we? Yeah, we must be over here, right?
I tried to paste it into mine since you copied on yours.
Yes, good job.
All
right, there you go. Because I think this is worth looking at. All right, so let's go ahead and see if there's anything else in here that's really important. That
scroll
you
back
should
up.
know. Yeah.
Last paragraph. When some
The Val dump.
Yeah, when some scientists detect irregularities in the digital tapes, the process was called the Val dump.
Okay. Oh, I guess it's because of her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we know. Did you know that term before?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know if it's the same thing, but we had something called a core dump, which
I've heard of that.
The server would print out everything that was in the processor.
Yeah.
Which was long, nasty, and had a stack of paper.
Dawn has a comment.
She was writing machine language. Then she learned to program software, Fortran.
Fortran. Yep.
Yeah, which was the precursor to a lot of languages.
Yep.
And yeah, machine language.
That's what the computer uses. That's the binary ones and zeros.
Mm-hmm. And then there's assembly, which is where you make the machine language. But the very early ones didn't even have assembly. They had strict machine language.
And those they call them higher level languages when they're not binary. But binary is machine code, and everything else is a higher level language.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Machine code is like kind of the lowest language you could get, and every layer on top of it.
I just realized I haven't really read all this. I'm like, that's cool. So I got to read this too. All right, so let's see. It talks about how she became into various projects. There's the Lacey logo.
I remember hearing about that as a kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that logo, that looks very familiar to me. All right, you know what? I am going to let you read the rest of that, and I'm going to read the rest of it later too, because I do have the biography. Biography is a great website, biography.com. I love the site, and it almost always comes up with the people we look for when we do a profile. So this is really cool. And I think there's going to be a lot of the same information. You've got, again, it's a fairly recent date, April 12th, 2021. So yeah, that famous picture of her, who she is. Yeah, not encouraged until she was in college years. I haven't seen it yet, but I did read about her father being interested in electronics too. Yeah, look, she checked a book called the boy's first book on electronics out of the library. Her father did not work on any of the projects with her, despite his own interest in electronics. There it is. So she actually did get to play with it later. How cool is that? Valued NASA employee. Very good. Here we go. Illusion transmitter patent. In 1980, she received a patent for an illusion transmitter. The device produces optical illusion images via two concave mirrors. Unlike flat mirrors, which produce images that appear to be inside or behind the mirror, concave mirrors create images that appear to be real or in front of the mirror itself. This technology was subsequently adopted by NASA and has since been adapted for use in surgery as well as the production of television and video screens. And I think the important part about the television and video is that it doesn't require like the glasses that you have to wear in certain 3D movies, because what they do is they've actually printed in two different colors very close to each other. In this case, you just look at it and you see a 3D image. I believe that's the important part.
Right.
Here.
Yeah. The downside of that is that there's a very narrow view of the 3D image. It's only
okay.
3D, from a very narrow cone.
Okay. So, yep, they talk about she continued to work until 1995. Number of positions, we talked about a bunch of those. I think a lot of this may have we may have already been covered. So, yep, a nice summary. I like the summary. Gives you a really quick idea of her background, where she was, where she's been, and let's see what else we got here. Hello, why didn't it go? This one is blackpast.org, and they have a nice write-up about her too. Again, a lot of the same information, but I do like to find, more than one reference points, because then you're not going to get caught out on something. It's called triangulation. You want to find at least 3 different sources independent of each other to get the information. And there's a nice reference here to this artist, Chance the Rapper, and that's how I found out about her in that first image. This one over here. And we actually sent it was a Twitter post, and I sent us like, hey, thanks for the inspiration. I'm doing a show about Miss Thomas. Okay, so what else is here? What else is good for her? I think that's going to cover that one. Britannica, always a good resource for things. It's going to be a lot of the same things, though. I don't know if there's anything else that...
I've noticed that Britannica's posts are usually shorter.
Okay.
Unless they're British. Then it's longer.
I noticed that.
Just, not haven't done a complete survey of it, but of the few times that I've looked at it, that's been my experience.
I do love this. The Beyond Illusions 10 Ways Valerie Thomas Changed the World. Look at this, 2023. I love that these are so recent. Sometimes old things are good to know, but, it's really good to find newer things as well. So I appreciate that. So they talk about her and her invention. Let's see. I wish they had like a, 1 through 10 of, but I don't think they do. Contributions in technology. Oh, and overcame gender barriers and skepticism at NASA. Invented the illusion transmitter. She was an inspiration for more women. Promotes diversity and educational impact by mentoring young scientists. But I don't think they have like... Oh, they're there. Okay, yeah, I thought so. I just wasn't seeing it right away, so I was like, oh no. Invented the illusion transmitter. Contributions to NASA. Lots of contributions. Role model for women. Develop early computer languages. Advances in medical imaging. Innovations in television broadcasting. Telecommunications breakthroughs. Academic pursuits. Like I said, she kept going back to school, eventually getting her own PhD, as well as being given one. Pioneer in software development. Very good stuff. Awards and recognitions. Yeah.
You know how you become a developer in computer languages? You use it very early on and you find bugs.
I see. Okay.
That's what got me, credit in a book on the Ada language.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yep. A bunch of us undergrads kept finding bugs and kept writing them up. And
got it. Yeah, we have to talk about the origin of bugs someday, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they talk about her many awards and recognition, but they don't say what they are. So I'm kind of disappointed with some of these that don't have like... Okay, so we do have some events here. Graduated from university, joined NASA, invented the illusion transmitter. That's great. But what the heck were the awards?
Mars Observer Project. That's nice.
So yeah, wonderful stuff. Definitely recommend taking a look if this is something that you're interested in. Oh, do we have them? Well, I got the 2. NASA's Equal Opportunity Medal, Goddard Space Flight Center Award, but we've heard about those 2 already. And influence on future scientists. Very cool. Good stuff. Let's see. I think we covered a lot of this stuff too. Yeah.
Yes. Look at the illusion transmitter.
Yeah, I think that might be... Yep, here we go. And again, this is very short. I mean, this is the sum of the whole page.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. It's like a paragraph. It uses 2 parabolic mirrors, and they're not strictly concave. And if you ground a mirror for a telescope, you know that. Right, Don? To transmit the 3D illusions of an object by use of a camera trained on the first mirror, which then sends video signals to a projector aimed at the second mirror. It was invented by Valerie Thomas, for which she received a patent in 1988. She developed it for the purpose of sending 3-dimensional images across a distance, making them look as if they are in front of the mirror. And as of 2022, still being used. And here it is. I'm going to bigify this a little bit. So it's not exactly what you were saying, Jeff. I think it integrates better so that you don't have to worry about this. Like, I think if it was set up in front of you with the mirrors, you'd have to look at them from a very specific spot. But this is involving cameras and being transmitted. I have a feeling I don't understand this completely. If somebody out there does, please let us know. But this is the diagram, and this is, I think, what showed up in the patent. So, yeah, very cool stuff. And I didn't know her before that one image that I showed you before. It was just kind of fun. Picture of her diagram, a little bit of information. All right, and that's what I got for Valerie Laverne Thomas for tonight.
And back to us.
Yeah.
And some stellar events this week. February 23rd through March 1st. February 24th, full snow moon.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah, full snow moon. Yeti made out with a werecow.
You weren't going to say it. You said you weren't going to say it.
It just occurred to me again.
Okay.
February 25th, moon is at apogee. February 26th, moon is on the equator. So February 27th, moon is at descending node. February 28th, Mercury and Saturn are in conjunction, and Saturn and the Sun are in conjunction, and Mercury is in superior conjunction.
Oh, I got a screenshot for that. Let me go set it up, and then you can share.
Okay.
So here it is, superior conjunction. Out opposite the, so here we got Earth, here we got the Sun, and it's on the other side. So that's the superior conjunction. Go ahead and go back to us.
Yeah, and there's only 2 planets that can be in inferior conjunction.
Yes.
Well, unless we're having a really bad day.
It would be a really bad day. Here you are.
And February 29th, we actually have a February 29th.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Leap Day.
I didn't know it had a name like that, Leap Day.
We never called it a name, but
no, I don't remember calling it anything.
Just remember, if you've got a bad program for tracking dates, you're going to miss one. March 1st, globe at night. And
you can share screen again. I've got it up.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Globe at night runs between March 1st and March 10th. If you're in the north, you look for Orion or Gemini. If it's in the south, look for Orion, Canis Major, or Crux.
Yeah, it's kind of new. They gave you a choice this time.
Yeah, they might have enough of them that they can make. Maybe there's enough people reporting that they can get decent data from that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so take a shot with your phone.
Yep.
Upload it on the app to their site, and that's it. It really helps with determining dark skies and stuff like that.
That's globeatnight.org.
So, also on March 1st, our Friday night show, and we've got a crunchy talk.
Yep.
Wow. It's a good thing I wasn't speaking more tonight. You probably wish I spoke less, but we've got a crunchy topic next week. Stick around to find out more. Find us Fridays at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the Everyday Spacer Facebook page and the Everyday Spacer YouTube channel.
That's okay. I haven't been speaking well tonight either. What inspires you the most for the coming week? All right, so we do have some other events and activities, and I'm going to go cue that up for you. And I want to thank Dawn for this one. That was very cool. This is Eye on the Future. National Eye Institute it's a contest, right? Keep an eye on science. Where the heck is it? Yeah, Enter Teen Video Contest. The EOTF Teen Video Contest. So this goes January 8th to April 14th. Make sure you know the contest rules because, of course, that is one fast way to be eliminated. Do we have a comment? I thought I saw one.
Couple. Janie says, love your profiles. Thanks for a fun share. Poor reporters lack sufficient details to honor Valerie Thomas's achievements.
What a shame, too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend as well.
Daniel.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Interesting. All right. So, like we said, always follow the rules. That is the fastest way to be eliminated from any contest anywhere. And spread the word, which is what we're doing. What else? Let's see. I think this is nih.gov. Learn about eye health campaigns. Or I would just do a search on Eye on the Future contest. That kind of thing. Saw this on Facebook. I probably spend too much time on Facebook, right?
Thanks to Cliff.
But thanks to Cliff, yes. I thought it was really cool, though, because you can be part of this NASA volunteer for second year-long simulated Mars mission. I just didn't even know they were doing this. NASA seeks courageous individuals for its second year-long simulated Mars mission, Chapia 2, beginning in spring of 2025. Volunteers will reside in a 3D printed Mars dune alpha habitat at NASA's Johnson Space Center, replicating Martian conditions. So you get to play with, what do they call that? It's an astronaut. Yeah, the word will come to me. And I just put this in here for fun because I thought it was cool sounding. Fairy tale physics. What's that about? I don't know. And again, Facebook provided a nice ad for this Hoosier Eclipse Festival in Gosport. That must be Indiana, right? Mm-hmm. April 5th through 8th. So, oh, that's interesting. Everybody is getting in on the action. And the closer we get, I think the more you're going to see and the more full they're going to get. Yeah, here we go. That's the path of totality through Indiana. The ultimate viewing location. Okay, maybe. But, the weather, it's always a deal.
The smart places aren't going to do any bookings until a couple of weeks prior.
Oh, you think so?
Well, no, I don't know if any of them are smart enough to do that. But because if you did that, then you'd be able to fill up on really expensive room nights.
There's look at that. Even that's kind of getting expensive. It's always like that for a big eclipse like this. All right, so then this was also from Facebook. I find it fascinating that this is all about this God zone. I don't know, some kind of, I don't know what, church maybe? It's hard to tell. But they're getting in on the action too. Great solar extravaganza. All right, so you can go to, where is this? Oh, lots of music, vendors. Everybody's making it a party. Yeah, it's got to be here somewhere, right? The location.
I would have thought it toward the top. But...
okay, maybe it was. Nope, I don't see it. Maybe there's a map somewhere here. So if that appeals to you, check it out. And this was another Facebook ad. It was kind of cool. Luna, Forgotten Fantasy. And it's a little different than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more science-y, but maybe there's science in there somewhere. The ads seem to me more science, less carnival. But I don't know. But it's in LA. It's in LA, near us. But sounds like some interesting artwork will be there. And some cool things to do and look at. And they got some cool names. Upgrade to the Moon Pass. There, Los Angeles. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? A moon pass. All right. And I think I have just a couple more. Here we go. This Virginia Space Flight Academy sounded interesting. Yet another Facebook ad. I seem to be getting more and more of them because, of course, I'm clicking on them. But I do like this. We're dedicated to empowering all students to see themselves as future STEM leaders. So this is in Virginia, United States. Space Adventure Camp, STEM Academy, good stuff. It does sound like it's for young people, though. I thought they were going to help everybody, but maybe they will. Yeah, there's a bunch of things in here. VASF.org is a good place to start. Another CLIPS site. Let's see. And these last ones, of course, I found most recently, like today and yesterday. So I don't know a whole lot about them just yet. I think the closer, the Ozarks. Here we go. The Ozarks. The closer we get, the more we're going to see. And yeah, I'm clicking on them, so they're showing up. Oh, this is the actual Facebook thing I found, and I thought it was really cool looking. And then I get to the site, and it wasn't as cool looking, I thought, but it still sounds interesting. STEM Leadership Alliance. Let's see what they say. Houston, right? Yeah, Space Center, Houston. So good stuff. And then it's a little drier over here, but I think it's still going to be an interesting event if you want to go to Houston in July 21st to 25th.
It's great time to be in Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Hot and humid. Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's like a trade show or this one I did find today, so I really don't know much about it. Looks pretty interesting, though. And the whole idea that there's a lot more going on constantly, I do love that. So, yeah, let's see. What do we got? STEMLeadershipAlliance.org. Go ahead and start there. All righty. That's all I got for the other events and activities. Anything else from you?
Nope.
Where are we? Let's see. Let me set it up for you. Oh, you're set up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you or someone you know has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, or astronomy, we'd love to share our live. Scroll down a little bit.
But you changed it.
Join us again next Friday.
You changed it over there.
March 1st. And I was going to do a different crunchy topic, but hang on. Let's see what Cliff says.
Okay. Cliff says, I just know there's going to be a solar party going on in Frost, Texas, where I'll be. See you next week. Take care. Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be lots going on. So that's a great place. I think Texas is going to be a really good place for the eclipse.
Yeah.
Yeah, go find it over there. I've told you it's written.
Well, no, I've got it in my head.
Okay.
But, okay, so March 1st, I was going to do a different crunchy topic, but then we just found out this week that the various law enforcement agencies have taken down Lockbit, which is a ransomware cybercrime group. So I figured I'll talk about cybersecurity.
Cool.
Because we learned a bit from the takedown of Lockbit, namely that they don't keep their word. When you pay the ransom, they don't delete their data. So also. Yeah,
and Jeff's a computer expert, a computer genius. So
it's going to be
a great topic next
week. So I'll go over various things about what it is, how you get infected, how to not get infected. Now, there's nothing that's 100%, but there's a lot that you can do to basically ward off the doorknob testers. You know, the ones that jiggle the doorknob just to see if it's open.
It's like locking the car doors. I mean,
yeah,
same thing.
Yeah. Unless you have lots of zeros after the one in your bank account, they're not usually going to be targeting you specifically. So most people will get a massive splat, part of a massive splat, and just be aware. And I'll show you how to look for things. I'll also show you what goes on out there and what, who the various groups are, or some of the various groups, and how they operate. And
sounds great.
Different things that they are trying to do to computers.
Okay. So look forward to that, and absolutely come back, because like I said, Jeff's a computer genius, and I could probably talk about it off the cuff for hours. All right. So anything else from you?
Nope, that'll do it.
Anything else from you? We'll watch for your comments even after the show. We want to thank Cliff and Daniel and Janie Becker and Dawn. And I know Scott was here. We said Daniel, yes. Scott, Cliff, we got everybody, I think. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here with us on Friday nights. Take it easy, folks.
Good night.
Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.